And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel guys. Another live stream for this time for the Europa League draw, and this time it's Hearts that are featuring in it from Scotland. A big year for Heart of Midlothian, of course. This is the first time they're going to be competing in the group stage of a European competition since 2004. They are guaranteed that after finishing third last year, which is magic for the Scottish competition. It really is. However, Hearts really need to go there. Don't look at it as a free hit. Go into the Europa League, try and progress. If not, then obviously go into the group stages of the Conference League. But look, try and represent Scotland in there. Try and do as well as they possibly can. And I have a weird feeling that Hearts are going to do pretty well in this competition. As I say, I feel like Tynecastle is one of them stadiums. When you see it when Celtic and Rangers go there, they could really make that hostile, especially on a European night. And yeah, hopefully Hearts can do something special this year and keep the coefficient flying high for Scotland. As you don't want to do what Motherwell did, stink the place out, and then just embarrass Scottish football. But yeah, Hearts have a really good sneaky feeling that they're going to do something well this year in Europe, and it all starts here, the Europa League playoff round. Look, today they'll find out who they'll get. They win it, they go into the Europa League group stages, which is massive. It really is. And then if they lose it, well, they go into the Conference League, which is still big. The guaranteed European football. I think that's pretty magic for. I think that's pretty magic for Hearts. But yeah, try and grasp it. Try and get into the Europa League. That's where the money's at. That's where they're going to make more signings. So I do think, Europa League is probably the place where they want to go, especially out of the two, I would say. So I just had to die down the resolution there. I'm just lagging a tiny bit, not sure why. But good to see Sandra Valentine. Hope you're well. I hope this lag clears up in the next couple of minutes. Not a single team called there. Yep, I agree with everything you're saying there, Harper YouTube. Good to see you, mate. Rangers back in the Europa League after the draw today, says Quackmonda. Celtic will always be in the shadows, says FP 2022. Look, it's going to be an interesting one. I've always talked about Scottish football needing this third team. I don't know why I'm so laggy, by the way. It's not too bad, hopefully. Now, I've always talked about it in Scotland that the Scotland need this third team that to take you up to the next level. Look, Scotland are in 8th. I think this is as far as Scotland can come as a sort of nation in terms of quality in leagues until other teams start pulling their weight in Europe a little bit. Of course, you've got Celtic and Rangers, but the teams above, I think, is Portugal and the Netherlands. The difference between them and Scotland is that they've got Benfica, they've got Porto, they've got Sporting Lisbon, they've got Braga, who all do well in Europe for their league. And then you look at Holland, you've got Ajax, PSV, Feyenoord and AZ Alkmaar, who will do well in that competition as well, in European competition. So that's how they progress up there. There is a bit of a gap between 8th and 7th, or 8th and 7th and 6th. But that's the next thing that Scotland need to address. But they will need to start by getting a third team. It doesn't help when Motherwell stink the place out. Like, again, nothing against Motherwell, but they literally came in, let off a huge sting bomb and then just left. And that's what happens when it comes to Scottish football 9 times out of 10. So Hearts, hopefully they can start flying the flag and doing something different, decent for Scottish football. I did have a thinking to stop Motherwell's, the likes of Motherwell's getting a European spot. Were not Motherwell as such, but I think the Scottish League needs a bit of a revamp in terms of the European spots. 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, yep, fine, get a European spot like it was this year. However, Motherwell still qualified for Europe when they only won 1 game in 2022. That can't be happening. So what I think that should happen is that there should be a playoff. I said this in a recent stream. I think there should be a playoff like the Netherlands. So the Eredivisie does a playoff, I think, between 5th, 6th and 7th or something like that, to make it a bit interesting mid-table clash at the end of the year. So instead of just giving 5th place a European spot, i.e. Motherwell this year, what should happen is the bottom, when the split happens, the team that finishes 7th in the bottom half of the split should qualify for the semi-final of the playoff space, right? It just makes the bottom half of the split something to play for. Because there's teams that miss out on the top 6 by 1 point. They're nowhere near relegation. They just miss out. So they should get a chance to qualify if you finish 7th into the semi-final of this Europa League or the European spot qualifier. 6th qualifies and 5th qualifies. 6th plays 7th, and then in the final, they play fifth, and whoever wins that final then takes the European spot. I just think it's an interesting way, and it just stops. It's making sure that you get the best possible team to compete in Europe, instead of getting scenarios like Motherwell the other week there. It works in the Eredivisie. The Eredivisie do it. I think Denmark do it as well. Who else does it? I think Belgium do it. Belgium do it also. So yeah, it just stinks. It just stops like things happening with Motherwell the other weekend there. Anyway, enough about that, guys. Let's see what's everyone saying here. Good to see Daz. Hope you're well. How is PSV and Monaco a bad draw? Look what we did last season, 2 UEFA Cup finals since anyone else in third division new club with the people. Chill Flame, good to see you, man. Hope you're well. I wish Hearts all the best in Europe, says RFC56. Well, we've got Dundee United going into the playoff round as well. No, they're playing against AZ Alkmaar in the Conference League. Again, that's... I don't really give Dundee United much... I don't really back Dundee United on qualifying. I really don't. Not against AZ. I think that's a step too far. Maybe if you've got a favourable tour, like Sligo Rovers. I still can't go over that with Motherwell apps. I was going to make a video on it, but my goodness me, I couldn't be bothered even giving attention to that disaster of a result. Horrendous. Stinking. It was stinking. It does piss you off, really, especially when you're passionate about the coefficient and the league moving in a better way. The league is moving. The league's doing really, really well at the moment. 8th in Europe. That's so good. To think that only Portugal, France, Netherlands, Italy, Spain and all that are ahead of Scotland. Little old Scotland. They're 8th. And 8th by a bit of a distance, by the way. I think Austria are in 9th and they're a little bit behind. So hopefully this year Rangers, Celtic or Hearts as well can start doing their bit in Europe. Pulling their weight a bit, you know. Celtic will obviously be fairly hard in the Champions League. Depending on what Rangers get, it could be hard if they go into the Champions League as well. But yeah, I have every faith that Hearts can cause a bit of an upset in the Europa League or the Europa Conference League, depending on where they go into. Dundee United are an all-right team. Yeah, they're an all-right team. No, I think Dundee United, but I think AZ Alkmaar are just a better team, unfortunately. That's just how sometimes it works out. And still couldn't win the league. Hopefully Hearts will get a good run in the Europa, says Graham. Well, it's all good for Scottish football. You think, again, back to this whole thing, right? So if Hearts get this Europa League money, you've seen how that helped Rangers out the Europa League money in terms of the group stages. It's seen Rangers buy players like Ryan Kent. I remember Rangers were relying on that Europa League money to make the signing of Ryan Kent. They made that signing. So think about Hearts managing to get 8 million quid if they get him through to the group stages. 8 million quid for Scottish sides outside of the old firm is a lot of money, considering Aberdeen were, creaming over the fact they made 3 million quid for selling Calvin Ramsey. So imagine treble that pretty much for the Europa League. That's how important this is for Hearts. If they get that Europa League money and they can do that consistently this year, finish third again, get that Europa League money the next year, and then just keep on doing it, just cement themselves as the third best team in Scotland, eventually they're going to have enough money and enough lure to maybe, it sounds so ludicrous, it sounds crazy, but that money helps. And if they make a good few signings with that bulk of cash that they're going to be getting from the European competitions, they could one day compete for the title. I know it sounds stupid right here, right now, and a lot of you will be like, yeah, shut up. But listen to me, right? The Europa League money is a lot. There is a lot of money at stake here. 8 to 9 million quid. If they can make some good signings and get that money and do it consistently, they need to finish third again this year, Hearts, and get the Europa League money again next year and just keep building 2, 3 years, 5 years time, invest in the right areas, flip players, and eventually, you never know, they could compete for the title, which I think is great for Scottish football. I honestly do think it's great for Scottish football. I've been talking about this third team for a long, long time now. It didn't look like it was ever going to come to fruition, but now there's a possibility of getting this Europa money for third place. It could actually happen. Do you know how much the Europa Conference League groups pay? It's a lot less. It's about 3 to 4 million quid. So it's half. So that's the difference between making the Europa League and the Europa Conference League is £4 million, £4 or £5 million. So that's why it's important for Hearts to win this one. Don't be settled on going to the Conference League. Well, I'm sure Hearts players have got every motivation to get into the Europa League, but I'm saying as the Hearts fan base, don't be settled just get into the Conference League. Oh yeah, we got European football. No, bollocks that. Get to the Europa League because it will change the football club. It really will. Right, we are a couple minutes away from the start of the draw. Again, I'm going to have to go through this one, guys, to let you know as to how it's working. I think Hearts are actually seeded today. So they are in the priority 1 team. So they're entering the stage alongside Ghent, Austria Vienna, Neil Lennon's Omiya Nicosia, Silverspor, Dnipro. Mate, so there's some weird teams in here, like normally, you'd be like, if it was Rangers or Celtic got it, you'd be like, it's a comfortable tie. But I just don't know what level Hearts are at the moment. It's hard to say. But there could be some... What dates are the playoffs? Be interesting. Yeah, I don't know the sides they can play. Apparently they can play Neil Lennon's side. I mean, I would take that Neil Lennon side any day of the week. That Cypriot side. For a place in the Europa League. I remember the days Rangers had to play like Legia Warsaw and Galatasaray to get it. Nowadays, it's like Hearts are seeded and they can play against the likes of Omanisa from Cyprus. That's mental. That's like a really good opportunity here to get to the Europa League group stage. Who knows? Who knows what happens? Rangers have been to European finals the last time Celtic won a knockout stage in Europe. Well, that's the thing with Celtic this year. They got to try and sort their stuff out. I mean, it's all well and good saying, you know, one team sort of pulling the weight, or 2 teams. You want a lot of teams to pull the weight. However, obviously, Rangers fans won't want Celtic to get to a European final or anything like that. But what I'm saying is... they need to start picking up some points. I mean, they did okay last year, Celtic. To be fair, they were unlucky in the Europa League group stage last year. They did get a fair, decent amount of points and did win quite a few games, I think, in the group stages. They just missed out right at the end. I think Betters had a better sort of, what's it called? Better points or goal difference or something like that. Who could Hearts potentially get? I don't know. It's not saying yet, mate. I know they're seeded, though. They are seeded ahead of this one. So they should get a decent one. No, Russian League. Yeah, Russian League are 10th. But they're getting nuked at the moment, Russia. So even if they do return, say, in the next year, it's going to take them years to recover this UEFA coefficient. Because this is their 2nd year now. They're going to miss it. And it goes over 5 years. So they're going to be nuked even when they come back into it. So I wouldn't worry about Russia. Malky says, are you drunk? No, I'm not drunk. It's the middle of the day. Tuesday, it's fucking 12 o'clock. Stuart Dix says, lost 3, won 3. Yeah. So unlucky, really, at the end of the day. But it was the thing with Celtic was the Conference League. Not good enough. Losing to Bodo Glimt. I don't care if they beat... Roma or whatever. It's not good. It's not acceptable to be losing those sort of ties. When is the draw, guys? It's said to start in a minute. They'll probably give the rules of how the draw is going to work, and then they'll sort of do it afterwards. Christopher says 4.25 million Europa Conference League winners. See, that's pennies, really. That's why the Europa League's the important one. Hearts are pot 1. Yeah, I know Hearts are pot 1. That's a good one. Hearts pot 1. And hopefully they can do well. I'm rooting for Hearts. I really am. I'm rooting for Hearts. My sister and brother-in-law are big Hearts fans, and my nephew. They're big Hearts fans, so we'll see what happens there. And here we go, guys. It's about to start. As I said, they'll read out the rules and the regulations of how the tournament will work and how the draw will work. But I love this intro. I do love the music of the Europa League. For those of you that didn't know, Rangers got PSV or Monaco in the next round. So if they beat Union Saint-Gilles over the 2 legs, they will be going to PSV Eindhoven or Monaco. Might actually get myself out there for that PSV game. Go to Eindhoven. Never been there. But yeah, but I'm a fan of Dutch football for some weird reason. Ajax, of course, but I like the Dutch league for some weird reason. Don't ask me why I like it. I don't mind it at all. As a Celtic fan, I want everything team to do well in Europe because I want Scotland to do well in Europe. Well, as I say, they're eighth now, Scotland. Scotland looking good at the moment in terms of the coefficient. It's good. How do we know if we are home or away of the first game? I'll let you know. You're seeded. So I think you're going to be away first either way. So if you are seeded, you will be playing away first. That's usually how it works. And that's what you want. You want a full, jam-packed Tynecastle on a Thursday night for the place. You know, you can get a 0-0 draw in the first leg or something, depending on who you get, and then just have that Tynecastle packed to the rafters. £8 million at stake. It's going to be a good one. Yar says Harper, good to see you. The revenue from a packed stadium midweek from extra games is good for the club, whether they play in the Europa or Conference. Yeah, I know. I'm not mocking the Conference League. I think the Conference League's good. I like the idea of it. You'll get a lot of people who say that they don't like it or slander it. Let's be perfectly honest. Scottish sides, the Conference League's a good competition. That's, you know, I know we all say prestigious and stuff like that. The clubs are prestigious, you know, and all the rest of it. Should be competing at Champions League. But the way the economics have just worked these days, it's just too hard to compete at that level. You will never see me begrudge the Conference League. But Hearts have a chance to go to the Europa League where they'll get double the money and have play against better opposition. So I would, you want to get that Europa League. The difference between the group stages is double. So I think Hearts will get 8 to 9 million quid for just getting to the group stages. And then if they go to the Conference League stages, it'll be at £4 million, which is still good, but, you know, you can get double. But anyway, the guys are just sort of, you know, they will these people out. UEFA senior competition manager, he's come out to give his spiel on things. He's just sort of explaining the draw and all the rest of it. Remember why they got kicked by Sligo? Man, I know that. I mean, I went on a rant about that earlier. They stunk the place out, man. They're horrible. Not happy with Motherwell. Guys, if you haven't already, please do smash the old like button, subscribe. As I say, we got a European live stream tonight. We got Rangers versus Union Saint Gilles. So do tune in for that. I'll probably do the Hearts playoff round as well. As we get into August, that'll be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to that, and we'll see who they play. But yeah, we're just still waiting for the draw to start. Where do you watch it? UEFA.com, mate. Obviously, I'm a Rangers fan, but I back the other teams to do well in Europe because it benefits us in the league in general. To a certain extent, you're sort of thinking, you want to back other teams. I don't think you would want your arch rivals to win the European competition. But yeah, go on a little run or something like that. It's not a problem. But I do see the rivalry there between Rangers and Celtic, them both not wanting each other to do well because the other team will get a lot more money than the other side. So they're like, you don't want to see that. But with the start likes of Hearts, I think we could see the start of something special. For those of you just tuning in, I was basically explaining about obviously it's been a duopoly in the Scottish League for 25 years, 35 years maybe even now. And basically I was talking about if Scotland want to take that next step, like the highest they possibly can get, 8th really, before jumping into that 7th, 6th spot with Portugal and the Netherlands. But the difference between the Scottish League and them leagues is that they have other teams competing and doing well in Europe. You know, they've got Braga, Benfica, Sporting Lisbon, Porto, 4 teams from the Portuguese league. In the Netherlands, you've got AZ, Feyenoord, Ajax and PSV. So Scotland need that third team now. And I think Hearts, if they can get this Europa League, this might be the start of something really special for Hearts. Because if they qualify into this playoff round, they can make 8 million quid, invest that well, then consistently finish third for the next 2-3 seasons and get this Europa League money consistently flowing in. You've seen what it did to Rangers, that 8 million quid, that, you know, 8 million pounds getting invested in the right areas. And it's a more attraction as well. Where would you rather play? Mid-table championship, or would you rather go to Hearts and play guaranteed Europa League football? That's the difference we're talking about here. And then they can attract better players. And I think over the next 3, 4, 5 years, Hearts could actually be a title contender. And I know it sounds ludicrous at the time of recording. You're probably telling me I'm chatting crap. But honestly, if they can consistently make the Europa League group stages and become third and just get this 8 to 10 million pounds every single year from it and invest well. It could be a real possibility. Anyway, the guy's still just giving the rules on the draw. As I say, Hearts are a priority group. They're in the pot 1, I think, and they're also seeded as well. So they do have the home leg in the home tie in the second leg, I think. So we'll let you know. LSM, tell that to LSM. Yeah, but he went on loan, mate. That's up to the parent club as well, though. We'll wait them to do it. Joe Black, champion 67. Come on, guys, get on with it. Where can I watch it? UEFA, mate, UEFA. Yeah, so they're doing the priority group now. So here we go, I think. We're ready to go. As I say, Heart Midlothian in priority 1. So we're going to find out who they get. Pot 1, as I say, Heart Midlothian, Austria Vienna, Gent, Silverspor, Dinamo. So, to be fair, there is some stinking teams in there. I don't know who they can get lined up with, but there are some ones that you want to avoid. I'd say Bodo Glimt. Don't Bodo Glimt. I don't want Bodo Glimt embarrassing Scotland again. Embarrassed Linfield the other day there as well. Winners of match 6, Omnia. Logan says, strange to think the last time Hearts had just played their first game in the Premiership since being promoted. Well, that's the thing. It's just the division's so buoyant. From first, second, look, they're cemented on, right? But the rest of the league, third, you said Aberdeen, who finished third consistently for a few years, ended up finishing 9th last year. Hibs finished 4th the other year, and they ended up finishing like 8th or 7th or something like that. So it's important this season for Hearts. They need to make sure that they can juggle. They can get third again this year, and then do well in the Europa Conference League as well, because the website, Andreas, so they can consistently get their money and become that next team. So winners of match 1, winners of match 6, winners of match 2. So I think pot 1's going to be drawn with the pot 2. Well, we'll see. We'll find out in a second anyway. And here we go. So they're doing the pairing first. I'll keep you up to date as things go on. Oh, so it might not be through the seeded then. Okay. So the first pairing coming out right now is Dnipro 1 from Ukraine. Now that would be a good tie, that. I think they're pot 1, to be fair. Winners of match 6. So Dnipro from Ukraine, for the Ukrainian viewers watching, you will play the winners of match 6, which is basically AEK Larnaca or Partizan Beograd. We'll find out who Hearts get in a second. Just keep it going. So here we go. This is the next one. Could be Hearts any moment now. First team is drawn. Ghent. So it's not Hearts, but it's Ghent for the Belgian viewers. Ghent have drawn. Omnia FC. For Neil Lennon fans out there, Omnia FC will be playing Ghent. That's a tough tie, that, actually, to be perfectly honest with you. We'll see who else Hearts are going to get now. I think Hearts might... Ball drawn out. Austria Vienna. No, not Hearts just yet. Nearly there. I think we're nearly getting there to Hearts, but not just now. Guys, if you haven't already, please do smash the like button. Sorry for the slight lag on this stream. We're still waiting for Hearts to be drawn, but Austria Vienna have just drawn Fenerbahce or Slovakia from Czech Republic. Now we're moving to priority 3. And then they're going to do the remaining of the priority 1. So Hearts could be drawn any minute now. I think there's 3 balls left. So Hearts are going to be within the next 3 balls brought out of the hat. So ball goes in. And this could be Heart of Midlothian. Let's have a look to see. First name pulled out of the hat is... the winners of match 3. The winners of match 3, so basically Zurich, will play Heart of Midlothian. That's not a bad tie for Hearts. So Linfield or Zurich against Hearts. That is a very, very, very good tie for Heart of Midlothian to get into the Europa League. Linfield or Zurich against Hearts. You'll be hoping it's Linfield. I doubt it's going to be Linfield. But Zurich versus... the worst possible situation, Zurich versus Hearts. That is a doable tie for Heart of Midlothian. A very doable tie to get to the Europa League group stages. They should put confidence in that. That is a good tie. Linfield or Zurich versus Hearts. As I said, you hope it is Hearts. You hope it's Linfield if you're a Hearts fan. However, Zurich is not a bad situation at all. Hearts should be winning that tie. They should be winning that tie. That's a really, really good opportunity. There's some big teams that they could have got there, like a Fenerbahce, which I'd have thought, might have been a step too far. But playing Zurich or Linfield is a very, very good tie there for Hearts. And I do think that they could probably get to the next round of the competition. But we've seen with Scottish teams in Europe as of late that they seem to sort of stink the place out against the teams that they're supposed to win against. So hopefully they can get the job done against Zurich or Linfield. I do think it will be Zurich. I don't think Linfield. I watched Linfield against Bodo Glimt. They were stinking. But yeah. That is it, guys. Heart of Midlothian are going to play either FC Zurich or Linfield. What an opportunity to get to the Europa League group stages. That is a really good opportunity. Two left now in the priority 2, and then there's the priority 3, and that will be us done and concluded for the draw. But it's Hearts who have got Zurich or Linfield. Fair, think if it's Linfield, man. I think some of the Rangers support will be down there at Tynecastle, man. It's be like playing Rangers, Linfield versus Hearts. Dan, your team's going out against the Belgians. I think Rangers will be good tonight, mate. I really do. Rangers are different gravy in Europe. I think they're different gravy in Europe, to be perfectly honest. Karabag and Ferencváros versus Shamrock Rovers. And then the final draw, I think, now is between priority 2 and priority 3. But again, guys, if you're just tuning in, a very, very good draw for Heart of Midlothian. Okay, that brings us to the end of today's video, guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below and what you think of Hearts getting Zurich or Linfield. And that is us done here today, guys. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and